Hare Krishna. Welcome to the class on Śrī Upadeśāmṛtam, Nectar of Instruction. Thank you so much for joining. Is the volume okay on Zoom?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay, great. Thank you. So we are meeting after a long time with intermediate visits by many wonderful devotees. In fact, two of my very favorite second generation devotees, as we call second generation, means disciples of Srila Prabhupada, which was Śrī Hariparshad Prabhu and Śrī Chaitanya Prabhu. So I have learned myself a lot from them, and it was very enjoyable to see both of them in Portland. So we will continue now after many weeks, I think 3 weeks gap or something. So we are going to start with Upadeśāmṛtam, verse number 4. Before that, let us quickly recite the Mangalacharan prayers. So I will share my screen. These are in the beginning of Bhagavad Gita introduction. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Soyam Rupa Dadāti Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Yutāpatikamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Sahagana Raghunathatam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam
Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam
Shri Radha Krishna
Padam
Lalita Shri Vishakha
Khanvitanscha
Nama Om Vishnu Padaya
Padaya Krishna Pustale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Dhamine Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine
Vishesha Shunyavadi
Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshadarine
He Krishna
Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpati
Namaste
Kanjana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Swanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhavarcha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah
Jaya Shri Krishna
Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu
Shri Advaita Gadadhara
Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda
Hare Krishna
Hare Krishna Krishna
Krishna Hare Hare
Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Now I will share. Before we start, we will recite the first 3 verses of Śrī Upadeśāmṛtam. So let us do that. Oh, I should have kept my screen shared. So share. Okay. So kindly repeat. We'll do this in a lead follow format. Vacho vegam manasah krodha vegam
Vacho vegam manasah krodha vegam
Jivha vegam udaropastha vegam
Jivha vegam udaropastha vegam
vegan yo vishaheta dhiraha sarvamati mam prithivim sashishyat
Sarvamapi mamam samsisat
Atyaharah prayashascha jalpo niyamagraha janasanghaschcha laulyam cha Shadbhir bhaktir vinashyati Sahan nischayat dhairyat प्रवर्तनात्
तत्कर्म प्रवर्तनात्
त्यागात् ततो वृत्ते
ततो वृत्ते
भक्तिः प्रसिद्ध्यति.
शक्तिर्भक्तिः प्रणश्यति.
Let's recite the fourth also, because today that's our topic. All right. Dadāti pratigṛhṇāti.
Dadāti pratigrhnāti.
Guhyam ākhyāti pritchati.
Guhyam ākhyāti pritchati.
Bhunte bhojayate chaiva.
Bhunte bhojayate chaiva.
Shadvidham priti lakshanam. Very nice. Thank you. So we will start our class now. Okay, very good. So we are reading or discussing Śrī Upadeśāmṛtam, a very, very important work by Srila Rupa Goswami, which was translated, commented by His Divine Grace Abhay Charana Arvinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada as Nectar of Instruction. And these classes largely are based on in-depth lectures by Shriman Hariparshad Prabhu. The link to his classes is given there. And we were very fortunate to have him here in Portland and hear a lot of Krishna Katha from him. So we will go to today's topic. Verse number 4. Dadāti pratigrhnāti guhyam ākhyāti pritchati bhunkte bhojayate chaiva shadvidhar priti lakshanam. So these are the 6 vidhis of priti lakshana, or these are the 6 methods which, or the 6 symptoms, lakshana, of loving exchanges of between whom. That is not directly given here, between whom, but the understanding is that it is between devotees. So, and that too, our acharyas explain between close devotees. Close means very intimate devotees. So this is the, so far in the previous 2 verses, we saw jana sanga as bhaktir vinashyati, right? Prajalpo niyamagraha jana sanghascha laulyam cha shadbhir bhakti vinashyati. So jana sangha was referring to materialistic people's association is harmful to bhakti, bhaktir vinashyati. And for bhaktir prasidhyati, we should do sanga tyagat, which was the same topic, that we should give up association of materialistic people so that our bhakti increases, right? So it was both things, not both, it was the same thing, which is basically giving up the association of materialistic people. That was the topic. So what does it mean, giving up? If it is all about giving up association of materialistic people, that we understand. And we talk so much about devotee association. So this whole verse is talking about association with devotees. Because so far it has been about not associating with someone. So now if you go and live in the jungle, you can easily do jana sangha as, or give up jana sangha and do sanga tyagat. But that is not the understanding. We are not supposed to go and live in the jungle. We are supposed to live and have very deep relationships, close relationships with devotees. So this verse is about developing and maintaining, or we will discuss. This verse talks about maintaining close relationships or relationships with close devotees, very close devotees. But we will also discuss about developing such relationships, Hare Krishna, so that we can deepen our bhakti. It deepens our bhakti. We will see that it is very important to have these relationships. You cannot be a Robinson Crusoe. You know Robinson Crusoe? What was his specialty? Huh? He got marooned on an island. He had no association. So we call all such people who don't associate with people as Robinson Crusoes in the mind. They have their sort of extreme level of introvert or whatever. They don't talk to people, remain in their own island. So we don't want to be Robinson Crusoe. So this verse is talking about relationship with devotees. Okay, and it is very important for our bhakti. So it talks about 6 exchanges of love. Okay, dadati means giving. So we'll do a quick, let's look at the translation by Srila Prabhupada. So dadati, pratigrhnāti, offering gifts in charity, accepting charitable gifts. Guhyam akhyati prichhati, confidential topics. Guhyam akhyati means to tell, prichhati means to inquire. So revealing one's mind, that is akhyati, in confidence, and inquiring confidentially, that is prichhati of guhyam, of topics which are very private and personal. And then bhunkte bhojayate chaiva, accepting, and bhunkte means to accept, to give. Bhojayate means to, bhunkte means to eat.
Eat, to eat.
Bhojayate means to offer.
Offer.
So bhunkte bhojayate, chaiva is and. So to do these 6 things are the shadvidham, are the 6 symptoms of, or the 6 processes of priti lakshanam, are the 6 methods of love, symptoms of love shared by one devotee and another. Okay, so coming back to the slides, 6 exchanges of love. So one question, what comes first, exchanges or love?
Love.
First love comes.
First love comes, and then the exchanges come. First exchanges come, and then love develops.
First, small changes come, exchanges come, and then we can have big exchanges depending on our love developing or not.
Okay, yeah. So it is actually, yeah, so you are right, it is both. Okay, it is an iterative process. Okay, we start somehow, you make a, we will see this, you make a connection with someone, you start liking someone, oh, this devotee is nice, you know, whatever, due to any reason, meets my frequency band or whatever, chemistry, biology, physics, whatever you can call. And, you know, you start having these 6 exchanges, and then the relationship deepens. So we can see both praman or proof that first is, these are lakshana, not karan. Shadvidha priti lakshanam. These are the lakshanas. These are not the karan. So that is there in the verse itself. That these are the symptoms. Symptoms come after. So first there has to be priti, then there is symptom. Correct? And in a lecture by Srila Prabhupada, he says, by these 6 kind of dealings, priti or love increases. So it can start, but then it deepens. Okay. And you have seen with devotee friends who are very deep friends. Okay. It's not like then you say, oh, now we are very deep friends, no need to invite you for prasadam. Isn't it? You do that more and more, or, you know, you keep doing that. So it is not a means. These 6 things are not a means to develop priti. Definitely they are a means, but after priti has developed, then also you continue. So it is both. Okay. And there is no point in splitting hair about which one is it more. So our understanding is that it is both. Okay. And another important thing is that it is to be done with very good devotees. Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur and Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, both, I'm paraphrasing, explain that this instruction, Shadvidha Priti Lakshanam, it is in this verse that bhakti nourishing affection in the form of sadhu sanga is explained. So what is the purpose? The purpose is not for socialization. That may be a secondary purpose, to have fun, to, you know, associate because you like the chemistry works, right? All that is there, but it needs to nourish our bhakti. Okay, if all the time we are just talking about basketball and movies and this and that, then it is not even though the two persons may be devotees, but that is not, if it is not, and in some cases, sometimes, even that is bhakti nourishing. It is up to the two individuals, two or maybe two, whatever n number of individuals, maybe two families or whoever. But one has to understand and one has to realize that it is not just meant for pure socialization or convert a devotee association into materialistic association. It has to nourish our bhakti. We must constantly be cognizant of that. And this instruction, on the other hand, like many people say Bhagavad Gita, how to become healthy using Bhagavad Gita. So 17th chapter has a lot of things about being healthy, foods in the mode of goodness and all that. So it is not this instruction, oh, in materialistic life, I will apply this. I have my materialistic friends and I will invite them for food. I will, have a nice party. Yes, this instruction can very well apply outside of devotional circles as well. And it will enhance the friendship between those people as well. Everything here applies to materialistic people, right? But this is not something, otherwise Rupa Goswami would not have included it in Upadeśāmṛtam. Upadeśāmṛtam is 100% aimed at enhancing our Krishna bhakti. So we must take it 100% as that this association, this Priti Lakshanam among devotees needs to be something that enhances our bhakti. We should not water it down, or we should not stoop it down to the level of materialistic association. Okay. And at the same time, this needs to be followed very nicely, very deeply. We should not remain dry or superficial with devotees either. Close relationship with at least a few devotees is very essential for our bhakti lata. Lata means it's a growing creeper. It's a creeper that needs nourishment, otherwise it will die. So it needs water, sun, and all that. So very close and very good quality bhakti nourishing association with devotees is very essential for our bhakti. Okay. So next then comes the question of who is a close devotee. Okay. What is a close devotee, or who is a close devotee? How do we find or identify somebody who we can get close with? So initial, so we'll have two sections, initial and then later. So initially, there need to be, or usually, again, this is not a rule, and anything not mentioned in the bullet is not a non-rule. There could be more things, to treat it more like a general guideline, that some common interest, some common habits, some common aspirations in specific limbs of Krishna Bhakti. Again, everything is to be centered around Krishna Bhakti. That's why we are discussing this in our Bhakti Shastri. This is not a general how to be good, what is that book? How to win friends and influence people. This verse could very well fit in that book, but that is not the context of our discussion. So some common interest, habits, and we can see, some people, like to sing Kirtan. They associate with those people. That can be a good bond between such people. Some people like to cook, and you will see the same set of people hanging around peacefully in the kitchen. If you have to find and I don't want to name names, but in our temple also, there are 2, 3, 4 people, where to find them in the kitchen. Even if it is somebody else's cooking turn, you will find them there anyway, because they like it and they like to hang around with each other and so on. Some people you will always find in deity room. They are, doing something in the deity room, cleaning so some people are interested in reading. So they are always, exchanging messages about, oh, I read this verse, I read that verse. I like this one. What is the meaning of this one? What is the meaning of that one? This Acharya said this, that Acharya said that. How do we, make sense of? So all these kind of things. So there is all this kind of going on. Common interest, common habits, common aspirations also. So, and this could also be at different levels. Some may be at a beginner level, some may be at a very advanced level, and somewhere in between. So somebody may want to, go to yatras, and, they might say, oh, you are going? Oh, definitely, then I'm going. Maybe, the idea of going to yatra might have been there, but because the other person is going, now it's 100%, sealed that we will also go. So there is some opportunity to exchange some common thoughts, some items, activities like you do together, like I said, going on yatra, doing kirtan. And the important part is that some nourishment or some benefit occurs to our Krishna Bhakti through that association. Otherwise, why would it, it starts with that. One always looks for what I am going to get. So yeah, this is a nice person. If I hang around with him, I can do, like many things you cannot do solo. Kirtan, for example, if you are a good singer, you need a good mridanga player. So if you are two good buddies, good friends, now you are like, anywhere you can sit down and start your kirtan mandali. Or, if you're so many things. So there is something in it for yourself to start off with. And then later, the friendship just becomes very strong. It is just that then at that point, later on, you become interested in the person itself or himself or herself. So then you just get sheer joy on meeting with them. Time flies. That's a very good litmus test. Time flies. Oh, 3 hours done. Now we have to go. So, like that. So when time flies in each other's association, and when you are just happy to meet that person. So it starts off with some, common interest, common activities where you can enhance your bhakti in some way together with the other person's help. But later on, one develops just love, affection, friendship with the other person. So this is how we can, develop close relationship with devotees. So now I have a trick question. What is the best association? And I have two options. I'm not looking for long answer from maybe 2-3 people. The two options are with Krishna or with a pure devotee of Krishna. These are the two options you are given. Which is better and why? So we'll look at the why later. Anybody wants to, who is with, like, anybody wants to shout out? You're getting associated with Krishna.
With pure devotees. With pure devotees.
Huh?
Pure devotees.
Pure devotee of Krishna.
No, there are two options, with Krishna or pure devotee of Krishna.
Pure devotee.
Pure devotee of Krishna.
Anybody is saying Krishna here or not?
No.
You are with Krishna?
Actually, Guru
we are with
Brahma, Guru
Krishna.
Vishnu, Guru Reva Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Sri Guruve Namah. So, pure devotee might be your guru.
There are verses like Man Manabho Mad Bhakto Madhya Jimam Namaskuru. You can quote verses. I can also quote verses on the other side.
So, Prabhuji, we are with pure devotee through whom we go to Krishna.
Okay. So,
based on the stage of devotion, Prabhu, like if you're a neophyte or a madhyamadikari, uttamadikari, like for a neophyte, a pure devotee.
Well, you have already told us that Bhagwan Bhakt ke vas mein hai. The God is always God always protect the devotees. So devotees association is more important than that.
Yes, Adita Mataji, you were saying something, I think. Can you please continue your thought?
Yes, Prabhu, like if you're a Kanishta Adhikari, then association of devotees is more important. But at the same time, if you're a Uttama Adhikari, then yeah, Krishna is the only person whose association you look out for.
Very nice. So you are in the right direction. So the question was for us, okay, who are on the path of bhakti. What is more important? Directly associating with Krishna or associating with a pure devotee of Krishna? For those who are following the path of bhakti, which means they are at some stage of bhakti which is not the highest, like Anita Mataji hinted at. Okay, and this is given, the answer to this is very nicely given by Sri Jiva Goswami in the commentary to Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, verse number in the 1.2.228 and 229. They are two usually combined verses in various commentaries. And there in the commentary, Jiva Goswami says that our purpose is to enhance our Krishna Smarana, because we are not at this stage always able to perform Krishna Smarana 100% of the time. So by being in association of a pure devotee will always talk about Krishna, always. Okay, and by his always talking about Krishna, it will enhance our Krishna Smarana. We will go from somebody who is Bahirmukha. Bahirmukha means looking away from Krishna to looking towards Krishna, Krishna Smarana. He gives a very nice example, which may be a little bit, kindly mute yourself. There is some, background noise if you're not speaking. So, kind of like a little, example. I don't think there are any very small children here. He asks a question that what association is more problematic for a man? Same thing for a woman, opposite side. Strī or Strī Sangi? Sangi means one who is always interested in associating with the opposite gender. Or direct association with the opposite gender. Which one is more problematic? Strī Sangi. Why? Not only kindles, he talks about women. Being with a Strī, she may talk about some other topics, but a Strī Sangi is only interested in talking about that topic, which will contaminate your thinking as well. In the same way, sanga with a Shuddha Bhakta is more important at the beginning, at the madhyam stages, than the association of Krishna himself. So this is hinting at such a important point that we must always long for association with like-minded devotees who can nourish our bhakti. That is the main point. At our stage of bhakti, we need nourishment of our bhakti. Whatever association nourishes our bhakti, we should long for that. We should look out for that. We should jump at that. Okay. So that is a very important point, a general point about relationship with devotees and how it is and why it is so important. And we should always look for such good association with devotees. So for those who may be interested, this was in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 1.2.228 to 29. Okay, so very nice, two very nice verses about association in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. So next topic is some very important points that I have distilled from the talks by Hariparshad Prabhuji. So I'm going to just go through some points which are very, very important. First thing is, don't rush into closeness. Okay, and very nice example is that of Drupada and Dronacharya. You remember this story? What happens?
Both were friends in the beginning.
Okay.
And he told he will give his daughter in marriage, something like that.
No. that happened. He didn't, yeah, that was Swayamvara. Anyway, yeah, here Bhagirath, please continue.
Actually,
There is somebody talking in the room. Hold on.
he immediately he
One second,
immediately thought that he is
somebody
now
talking.
like our friend, like his friend, and whereas the other one being poor, as Dronacharya was very poor and he was a king, so he didn't accepted him at that level. That was the
That
problem.
happened later. Okay,
was,
hold on, just hold on. There's
it
somebody responding in the room. Yes.
I think as Prabhuji was mentioning, so as a mark of friendship, Drupada Maharaj had promised
Yes.
Dronacharya that he would give a portion of his kingdom.
Ah.
I don't remember the exact
Yes, yes.
later on when Dronacharya comes, he fails to fulfill his promise.
Yes, exactly. So what happened? So this is the next point. Don't make promises you cannot keep, or don't rush into making promises of closeness. So initially they were friends, and Drupada Maharaj told Dronacharya, whenever you need, you can come to me and I will give you half of my kingdom also if you need. Come to me anytime you want. And then Dronacharya at that one time later, much later, he was very poor and he was looking for a job. And he went to Drupada Maharaj and he even failed to recognize him. He recognized him but said, there can never be any friendship between unequals. And he insults him. Not only doesn't fulfill his promise, ends up insulting him. And then Dronacharya makes a vow that the only people who can defeat Drupada are the Kauravas. So he goes to the Kaurava kingdom, and then, the rest of the story we know, how he becomes the teacher of the Kauravas and the Pandavas. When I say Kauravas, I mean all of them. That whole incident occurs with the ball, taking out the ball from the well. Bhishma was looking for the best teacher. He knows when he heard that incident, only Dronacharya can do this, and all that. And then he had a revenge on Drupada. He told the Pandavas, as Guru Dakshina, I want you to capture Drupada and bring him to me. And then when Drupada came, then now he's captured, his whole kingdom is there. Then he tells, now I am giving you half of the kingdom back. Now I own 100%. You didn't fulfill your promise. I will give you half. I will teach you how to keep a promise. So anyway, Drupada rushed into such closeness. So we must take our time and we must let the friendship grow naturally and gradually. Never try to beat a raw mango to hasten into ripening. Give it time and it will ripen. So closeness need to be developed gradually and naturally. And till closeness develops, stay formal. Again, it's not like black and white, formal and not formal, but it should start with formality. So that there are no mistakes, there are no offenses, and you don't take each other for granted. Formality means you maintain more etiquettes, as many as possible. Once preeti develops, no formality, or it can reduce over time. And between very, very close friends, the moment you see them, you start by cursing them, or like whatever, Abhe sale kahan tha tu? Or something like that. So like that, So closeness should be developed over time. Okay, how are we doing now? We are running very much behind. So let us go to the next one. So some very important do's and don'ts, even with a close friend. These are some, if we maintain these boundaries, then we will have a very long-lasting and very close friendship with the other person. So first of all, and all these are backed by Shastric verses. If you are interested in the long version, you know where to go. I am very quickly summarizing almost 10-12 hours of discussion into potentially 1 hour if we can finish this today. So all of these have very, very deep Shastric or have very pakka, very solid Shastric references, but I am, going ahead without giving all the details. So first one is do not argue, especially in public. Let them win in public. Let them win. Now, it doesn't mean that you let them be wrong. We'll cover that in the do's, that you need to correct them, but in private. Okay, if they are on the wrong path, or if their argument was completely wrong or something, you correct. It's not like you let them continue to feel that they are right, even if they were wrong. Another point, money always creates problems. Always. So it's not like you cannot go on a lunch together and he pays and then you pay him back. That is all fine, or whatever. You book a flight ticket or whatever. Those things are fine, but don't enter into a major financial arrangement. It is sure to ruin friendships. Okay. So keep money as far as possible out of it, or if there is money involved, try to get rid of that arrangement as quickly as possible. Let's say he was in need of some money. You gave him $10,000, or you took $10,000. Immediately you needed, let us say, because you had to give a loan back or something like that. Immediately repay it, or whatever it is, finish it off. Don't let it, keep going on. And third is do not associate closely with their spouse. So again, there is a verse in the Shastras which mentions these three things. Then there is another verse in the Shastras which talks about 6 things. So rescue your friend. So this is the one that I was mentioning. Rescue your friend from a dangerous or incorrect path privately. Okay. Tell him where he is wrong, because you must always, the second one is engage them, but first of all, bring them into the correct path, or correct them if they are going in the wrong direction, and engage them in a beneficial path if you can. And if we'll talk about this third one in Guhyam Akhyati Prichhati, be a friend. There is a Sanskrit term known as a mantri. Mantri means a keeper of a secret keeper. So it's like a very close friend is like a confidant, we call in English. Be the best possible confidant. If you hear something from your friend, take it to your grave. Okay. The topics should remain, it is said, between 4 years. As long as the topic remains between 4 years, 4 years means 2 his years, 2 yours. That is 4. Not 4 people, 2 people, 4 years. If it reaches 6 years, then the topic is as good as it is out. Okay. So protect their secrets, but talk about their good qualities to others. Good qualities should always be talked about. Reciprocate. Give more than you receive. Okay. Always give. We'll discuss this in dadāti, pratigrhnāti as well. Especially give at the time of need. We will talk about this as well. How do you know when they are in need? So always, the mantra is always look out for your friend. Always have their back. Okay. Yes, Prabhuji.
Prabhuji, the second don't. That has the potential to spoil a relationship. Right?
Potential to, yes. Most 99%, yes.
No, but not doing it also. Like, when someone needs money and they ask you, and especially if it's a significant amount of money.
Then do it as a give and forget if you can.
So
that is not a financial arrangement. That is just a gift. Gift is not the same as a financial arrangement. Okay, so I should have mentioned that, but giving a gift is completely different thing. Then you give and we'll talk about it. Then you don't think about it. It's gone, it's given, happily given, and that's it. Done. It's as if it never happened. You don't expect anything back. You don't, nothing. You don't care what they did with it. It's given, it's no longer yours, it is completely theirs. So that is not the same as a financial arrangement. And last point, very important. You must have heard this: familiarity breeds contempt. So close friendship does not mean excessive familiarity. Again, that depends on the person to person and the nature of the relationship and so on. Okay. But a healthy balance of closeness and separation is best, depending on the relationship. Now, between husband, wife, you can say, there is, always, obviously, if there's sometimes husband and wife are the best friends, but you're always with each other. And sometimes there will be some khatpat, and then there will be like, one day of whatever. And then, again, so that is one day of separation or whatever. But even in general, among friends, a healthy balance, again, what I'm saying is depending on the relationship is best. So closeness doesn't mean that you're always stuck to the hip. All right. Okay. So these were very general concepts of close relationships between devotees. And what is the fundamental purpose?
Krishna Bhakti.
Krishna Bhakti.
You can add one word before that. Nourish. Yes, very important. To nourish our Krishna Bhakti. That should be the main purpose. On the other hand, if it is sucking our Krishna Bhakti, sucking or what you call sapping the energy out of Krishna, our Bhakti, then we should look for some separation. The purpose is that in that association, our Krishna Bhakti is nourished. Okay? That is the main purpose. So let us now look at specific 6 items. So what are the 6 items? What is the first one?
Offering.
Sanskrit. Look in your
dadati.
Yeah, so we will discuss in pairs. Okay. Dadati, pratigrhnāti. Both, because it is two-way, it is bi-directional. Okay. So we will discuss 3 topics. First one is dadati, pratigṛhṇāti. Okay. So in that, once again, everything below is only between devotees. Okay. Try to keep now it is not like you should stop association with materialistic people in your office, in your whatever neighborhood. You must be nice, respectful, polite, but having the closeness in the heart is not recommended. Okay. Otherwise, they will talk about materialistic topics. The same concepts, three sangi. Okay. And then your mind can, because we are not at a uttam level, our mind can get swayed. So it's not like, but maintain a healthy distance. Don't let again, the most important fundamental point, do not forget of this whole discussion is to nourish our Krishna Bhakti. That is the fundamental point. So therefore, everything below only applies to close relationship between devotees, not anybody else. Though it can be applied, but we are not looking at it from that angle. All right. So what does it mean? Dadati, pratigrhnāti, giving and accepting gifts. So why I have put accepting in blue or highlighted? Why not giving? It's parallel, right? Or it is like two sides of the balance, right? Two sides of a coin. But why I have put accepting? Yes, that is the right answer. Generally, the way we are brought up and in our culture, we think like, we must only give, but not accept. That's very nice. But reciprocate in many, many cases, we fail to understand also means we must take. Even though God may have given us a lot and we think, I don't need it. Why should I take? it will be a loss for him if he gives or she gives and I take it, then, it's like I'm making them, lose that thing. But we must not forget that just giving and never taking also does not result in a strong relationship. Even if the other friend is poor and you may be very rich, let them give. They will give according to their capacity and you should take. You should not say, oh, don't. Okay. That creates any good example of this? Prominent example jumps in the mind.
Sudama, Krishna ji.
Sudama, yes, Krishna did not say, no, it's okay, keep it. What did he do? On the contrary, he snatched it. He said, what are you hiding there? Why do you want to hide it? I want that. He snatched it. Isn't it? So that is why accepting is also very important. We many times forget in our culture. We feel that by giving, the relationship will become strong. But we must also accept. On the other hand, don't just keep accepting. Okay. So otherwise, you'll be a sucker. So don't go too much on the other side either. So what is a healthy culture? Of wanting to give, but not accept too much. Accept, but not too much, so that you don't become like a sucker or always a taker. And then at a certain point, it becomes like your adhikar. Oh, if he did not give, I am offended. Because you have become so used to taking. And where that happens the most? In our relationship with
Krishna?
Krishna, yes, the most. He has given so much, and one thing he doesn't give, I'm never coming to the temple again. Oh, God is heartless. Even though he has given so much, he has given us our life, everything. So we must not become used to just taking. We must also give. Couple of other points very quickly. Never expect anything. So this comes back to that question. Never expect either a return favor or your gift back. The gift was not a gift, it was a loan. So gift is supposed to be a gift, not a loan. And never be interested in knowing what they did with the gift. Oh, I gave you this gift and you ruined it. Okay, then it was not a gift. It came attached with some expectations that they will properly do something with it, use it properly or whatever it is. And also we should not gift something that is, we should give something which is meaningful to us, also to the other person, but to us as well. Not something that, oh, this is useless, and so I give it. I anyway had no use for it. I was anyway it was going to rot in my closet, so better give it. At least my closet will be saved from having to keep a rotten item. Or I would not use it, and so I give it. So that should never be the case. Here, where there's a very nice verse that Hariparshad Prabhu quotes. I forget the verse. That one time, somebody was going to eat a morsel of chivda, a handful of chivda. He was going to eat. Then the wind blew, and all that chivda blew away into the air. And then he recited a mantra and said, I give this chivda to Bhagavan as an offering. So that is because he could not eat it, he just offered it to Bhagavan because it was useless for him at that point. That should never be the case of giving. So the culture of giving is that, first of all, nothing belongs to us anyway. It starts from there. We have all remembered this verse. Ishavashyam idam sarvam yat kincha jagatyam jagat tena tyaktena bhunjita ma grida kasya svidhanam. So nothing belongs to us. Everything belongs to the Lord. Everything that we have, we are just caretakers. He is the original giver. And very, very nice point that is made here is that by giving, you'll see, very nice point, why we don't give. Why do we not give? In the materialistic sense, what stops us from giving?
We don't
We
want to
dispossess-
We
offend
are
somebody.
attached to-
We will become dispossessed.
Ah, very nice. If we give, then we won't have it. Correct? We will become poor, right? Foolish. And the Shastras call such people foolish because they have the fear of becoming poor in this life. Isn't it? So they don't give. On the other hand, intelligent people fear becoming poor in the next life. So they give. Because giving is an investment for our next life. Even at a materialistic level. This is at the karma kanda level. This is just pure dharma. This is not the paro dharma of bhakti. Just basic dharma. Giving is an act of goodness. Dana, charity. And better give to a friend. And we will see in the next slide, give to a friend, especially when he needs it. So giving is always a good thing. And the Shastras say that in the next life, it comes back to us many times, multiplied. In the Shastras, there is a nice verse which Hariparshad Prabhu has quoted. A beggar, there's a mantra or a shloka which a beggar utters while going around the streets. He says, in the last life, I didn't give. So see what has happened to me in this life. Please don't make that mistake in this life. Please give so that your next life will be so much better. You will not end up like me. Yeah. So I have two slides, best kind of giving and best kind of receiving. Very important topics, okay? Again, in this topic, it is to a devotee friend. And we all, it's not like the devotee friend has to be poor and you have to be rich. It is just based on giving, based on you may have something, they may not have something, or even if you have and they can also get it, but you are expressing your friendship, your love by giving. So first and foremost, what should you give?
First, love.
Give them a Netflix subscription.
Love.
Love, but what kind of love? Will you give them a ticket to Las Vegas out of love? So give something first and foremost that will nourish. Again, every time we change topic, we will come back to what is the fundamental point. Nourishing one's Krishna Bhakti. So that will help or nourish his or her. I may, please excuse me, but I have, just for sake of simplicity, I have used his everywhere. So I'm not trying to be, politically incorrect or anything like that, but please substitute it for his or her or whatever, okay? So with that disclaimer, so something that will help their Krishna Bhakti, that is most important. And it doesn't mean that you now, from now on, you only give Bhagavatams and Bhagavad Gitas. It can be something material also. It can help their material situation or material whatever circumstances, which in turn helps their bhakti. Okay. Like, for one of our, we gifted them some money so that they could in India, it was very hot and we could buy an air conditioner. And then, in summer months, they can do their bhakti nicely. So when they are sitting in AC, you can say, oh, why does devotee need AC? No, we all have body and we need, little bit comfort. So like this, it could be something that is material, but you know that it is a devotee and you know that they will benefit. Their Krishna bhakti will advance better by this. That also counts. Of course, Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita and all those things also count. Giving a nice picture of Krishna, giving a nice book, giving all those things definitely counts. But I'm saying that even other things could count. Or you help them in any other situation if they are going through some problems, family problems, or, you look, give them some education, or this school is better, that school is better, this job is better, that job. They will have peace of mind, if not anything else. Then they will be able to focus their mind on Krishna. So all those things. So it needs to be taken contextually. So this is about giving. Okay. So this is one topic, one point. And don't, if you are truly a close friend, you should not wait for them to ask. You should know what they are looking for, what they want, what they are missing, what they need. Otherwise, you are not such a close friend. You can try to become more close. So you should know what's going on, or at least, again, I don't think I have this point again. Give once when they ask. They shouldn't have to ask twice. On the receiver side, it is said, don't ask again. So they may not even ask again. But you should not forget. You should not delay. The moment you know that they want something, give. Don't wait for them to ask again, or they may not even ask again. And then you will lose the opportunity to have a close relationship. Best is to give without asking, if you know. Yeah, don't wait for him to come and ask you. Don't wait for him to come to you and ask, and certainly not repeatedly. But at least the moment you know, give. And with no superiority bhava. Walk up and give. No, if he has to ask, let him come and take it from me. He needs to do the effort of walking to me and taking. Then that mindset is what should not be there. The mindset should be that I am giving, which means I am giving as a seva, as a service. You do service by going to someone place. You don't say, oh, if you come here, then I will serve you. Like that, with that bhav, with the seva bhav, not aham bhav, we should give. Walk up and give. Don't wait for them to walk to you. You walk to them. Don't delay in giving. Give immediately. Okay? And give happily. Not even with a, a neutral face. With a lot of happiness. Definitely not with a grudge. But very respectfully, very joyfully, very happily give. And give some fresh, not old things which are rotting or old or which have no use to you. Give and something which is meaningful. Okay? Something they will use, or that it's meant for their use. Okay? And give respect and sweet words along with. Very important. And no sign of regret after giving. And finally, if you cannot give, that's okay. At least everybody can give sweet words. Anybody who cannot give sweet words, good wishes. If possible, service. If you don't have material like property level items, monetary or wealth, give service. If you cannot give service, give sweet words, give your prayers, give well wishes, good wishes. Okay. So this is the best kind of giving. Again, the most important thing among all of this is, what should all of this giving do? Nourish of who? Both. Both. both persons, especially in the giver case, their Krishna Bhakti. As a giver, you should always care for their Krishna Bhakti. Now, best kind of receiving. Very important point. Now, put yourself in the shoes of a receiver. Okay, you are receiving, right? So what are the thoughts that come to your mind?
Gratitude.
No, what are the, let us say, the negative thoughts, or what could make you a bad receiver?
Resentment.
Ungrateful.
Coming out of okay, ungrateful could be one. Not valuing the gift or the person giving the gift. Very nice. Taking for granted. Very good. That it is my right. What else? Judging the gift. Yes, very nice. Oh, only this much he gave. I was expecting more.
Not able to return the gift.
Not able to return the gift. Okay, that's a good sign. I mean, I don't know what.
Reciprocate, unable to reciprocate.
Okay, but what makes you a bad receiver? So not unable to reciprocate, but unwilling to reciprocate. Is that what you meant?
Oh, no. Maybe. No, I was, yeah.
Question is, what makes you a bad kind of, what kind of a receiver should you not be?
I have to give it back. So
Expecting
too much.
No, expectation we already said, no, that I should have got more, like that.
Not using the gift appropriately.
Not using the gift appropriately. Okay. Okay.
Or not satisfied with what we received.
Sorry, Mataji, Mansinga Mataji, what did you say?
Not satisfied on what we received.
Not satisfied with what we received, with, yeah, same, similar to like expecting more or judging the gift. Yeah, what did somebody said?
if I get a gift, then I have to return it back, so I won't take it.
Oh, okay, that's a nice one. Not taking a Hassan, like, okay, then I have to reciprocate. So to avoid reciprocation. Yes, Mataji, in the room here.
Even like inferiority complex, oh, he's thinking too much of himself, like I'm not capable of getting it. So
Yeah, okay, very nice. Inferiority complex in the mind, that, oh, he's giving, what does he think? I don't have it. Okay, so let us see some of the good kind of, being a good kind of receiver. So first of all, the Shastras say, don't think you are helping the giver to attain punya. You're following? Oh, I am receiving the gift. So he gets to give. So he is attaining punya. So I am a doer. I am a... So you just converted yourself from being a receiver to a giver. People are so, smart and so manipulative. They are the receiver, but they will think, oh, no, I'm giving him punya, or I am a cause. So I am the bigger guy. Receiver is actually on the, receiver's hand is lower, giver's hand is on top, but he thinks I am giving something. So that is the, don't think like that. Don't think you are, one must be in gratitude, which will come later. Don't complain about the gift. Like we said, don't judge. Receive with joy, respect, and gratitude. Okay. And like we said, be an occasional receiver, not a habitual receiver. So one should receive occasionally. And in the same spirit, one should be a hesitant receiver. One should hesitate. One should say no few times. And if you genuinely see that, the other person is giving with love, and he genuinely, you see the genuineness and you accept. Sorry. Okay. And one should not ask. Like we said in the previous one, the giver should not wait for the friend to ask, but the friend should not ask. And okay, somebody may ask, but doesn't ask repeatedly. Again, the case of Sudama Brahman. He went to ask, but if you remember the story, he never ended up asking. And Krishna never ended up giving in the visit. He only realized he got so much after he reached back. Till then, he was like, oh, he was feeling happy. My wife told me that you should ask, but I'm so happy I didn't ask. Why should I ask in a friendship? Friendship is not meant to be exploited. So that's how he was thinking. So he was an ideal receiver, and Krishna was an ideal giver. Without even his asking, he gave everything. Right? So we shouldn't ask, definitely not repeatedly. And between friends, very close friends, you can ask once, and definitely not consider receiving your right as your adhikar. Oh, even if you have given many times, oh, I have given so many times now, I'm entitled to ask back. All these hurt our Krishna bhakti. These create material thinking in our heart, and they are not good for our Krishna bhakti. One should understand that sometimes the giver may not be able to give due to some hardship or some reasons. Even though you may have given so many times, let's say he doesn't give. From the receiver end, you should never carry a grudge if you don't receive. So these are just some points I collected from many, many topics and everything that were discussed, and many other points about how to be a good receiver. Yes, Prabhuji.
Point number 4, does it mean like that you're doing a big show of not taking it? Like some people will, it's a bit like, I mean,
Genuinely, not a
don't have
show.
the hesitation, then you just accept it gracefully?
That depends on the relationship between the friends. And sometimes it is, you just take it because, you don't even have to say no even once. That depends on the depth, the intimacy of the relationship. But in general, the practice, at least at some level, if there is still some formality in the relationship that is there, if it is completely informal, let us say the best relationship typically in many families is between husband and wife. Never say no, okay, So, but in some cases, if there is some formality there, then hesitation to receive is a mark of formality etiquette. Okay. But in the heart also, there should be a desire to not accept. It's not just lip service. Okay. One should not think, oh, I will hesitate, but I hope he doesn't accept my hesitation. He should continue to, then I will take in the second offer. That whole, it's not about lip service, but one should have that hesitation. Okay. Yes, Surya Prabhu, you have your hand up. Was there a question?
Suppose if material gifts are avoided totally, giving and receiving, there will not be any problem.
Yeah, you are right. But that is the same thing as saying, if I don't eat anything, then I will never have digestion problems, or I will never have stomach problems. Or if I don't chant japa, then I will never do any nam aparadha. The point being made here is that these things, dadati, pratigrhnati, are very conducive for creating strong relationships. Yes, if you don't do this, you may be safe from causing any offense or causing any problems. But these are just natural exchanges of love for deep devotee relationships. So it is recommended, it is not recommended to stay away from these. It is recommended to do these, to engage in these. Okay? All the acharyas in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Leela and even in Krishna Leela, you see Krishna having so much dadati pratigṛhṇāti between all in his childhood pastimes, in his later pastimes we have been discussing with Sudama. We will also discuss a pastime when he went to Hastinapur. He rejected Duryodhan's offer of a big feast because he knew there was no love. On the other hand, he went to Vidura's house and said, "I'm so hungry." He asked for it. So, all this, now Krishna doesn't need food. Definitely he is, sarva vyapi and sarva santushta. He's always fully satisfied. He's not hungry. Okay. Yes,
So if the objective is to nourish bhakti, you can exchange those type of gifts also, right? Books can be given.
Yes.
Come from a pilgrimage place, prasadam can be brought. So that will help the...
Yes, any kind of giving and receiving that nourishes our bhakti. Definitely all kinds of devotional gifts. And in many cases, when there is more closeness, it could be non-devotional, but which ultimately are supporting their bhakti. Okay. And also it creates closeness between devotees. Closeness with others is a very natural human tendency. Bhakti is such a path. If we are in Gyan path, then we can say, "Oh, I don't need anybody." And in materialistic path, there is obviously a lot of, acknowledgement, recognition from groups of people. Bhakti is the middle path. And associating and having friendships is very important and highly desirable and allowed. Not only allowed, but encouraged. But the process or the boundaries or the constraints, guidelines are here. So bhakti is the path where you don't have to give up friends at all. In Jnana path, yes, you have to give up everything, go and sit inside a cave. But not in bhakti path.
But will it not lead to attachment in the long run?
No. Yes, it could. It will lead to attachment, but not material attachment. You will look at them as devotees that are constantly nourishing your bhakti. And yes, there will be some attachment to the persons as well. When the devotees would separate in Chaitanya Leela, there would be so much crying because of separation from devotees. Only Jnanis will not cry when you have to separate with devotees. So yes, there will be attachment, but you are being attached to devotees. And that is perfectly allowed in Bhakti Marga. It's not bad, it is not wrong to have attachment to devotees. Therefore, Bhakti is considered so much easier than Jnana. Yes, Mataji.
Prabhuji, I have two questions. Is this a good time to ask, or should I wait till the end?
No, you can ask. Everybody is asking.
So, Prabhuji, you mentioned like earlier, familiarity breeds contempt, right? I've heard in one of the lectures that we shouldn't have like a closeness with our guru because we may commit offenses or something. Can you, just want to know more about, I've heard, when I went to Yatra, some of the devotees mentioned that, when they become so close, when they host, when Guru Maharaj stays at their home, and
so I
skipped Guru Maharaj for such a long time, like this can happen. So I just want to know a little bit more if you can.
Yes, so I skipped this point. I put an S here. If I'm running short of time, I said I will skip it, and I did skip it. So let me cover this point. So the question for people on Zoom is, it is recommended that we should not get very close to our Guru. And that is true. We can get close to our Guru, but there are certain boundaries. Okay, so let us just quickly go over this. This developing closeness, okay, are you seeing? Can occur with those who are more or less or equal in our experience, in the experience of bhajan. Okay. So what would you say Guru falls in which of those three categories? More. Guru is obviously more experienced in their bhajan than we are in our bhajan. They are at a higher level. That's why they are the Guru. Or one may have a relationship or a closeness with somebody who is less experienced in their bhajan compared to us. The Guru would think like this. Upadeśāmṛtam applies to Guru also, isn't it? Guru also reads Upadeśāmṛtam and follows it. So Guru will think that I am the Guru, he is a disciple. So some formality or reverence is present. So yes, one can get close. Definitely one can get close, but not so close. Some of the aspects of closeness, like putting your hand on the shoulder, or, eating together while he is eating, you are also eating, or, things like that may not be appropriate. So there can be levels of closeness or formality between a Guru and Shishya, and that can diminish based on one's relationship and one's association and one's level of submission and faith in the Guru. That can reduce. You can see some devotee who is like, so how are you, Guru Maharaj, just, calls you, and sometimes the Guru says, oh, come and eat. Disciple says, no, Maharaj, no, I cannot. No, you come and eat. Come on, I'm ordering you. I have seen that happening in front of my eyes. He says, come and eat right now. I'm ordering you. So Guru Maharaj was eating and he was eating, and both were eating, and, and he said, he ate the chapati and my wife was actually serving. And I was standing, and one of my, or Guru Maharaj, so his chapati was over, but my wife brought a fresh chapati, and he said, no, you give it to him. He has been waiting. Otherwise, as Guru, he would have like, okay, etiquette is he gets first. Not first, but, so, but he kept waiting a little bit longer, and he said, no, you have first. One can wonder, oh, Guru is so close. So there can be levels of closeness between Guru and some disciple A versus some disciple B. Disciple number A can be more close or more informal. The Guru may treat that disciple A as more informally than B. That is fine. But then still there are limits. For equally experienced devotees at the same level of bhajan, that is the sweetest. This informality is the sweetest. The informality in such cases is the sweetest. Maximum possible. No boundaries. You can jump on each other. You can punch each other. You can, hug each other. You can do whatever. Call each other names. So many nice things can be done. Okay. Does that answer your question, Mataji?
I have one follow-up on that, Prabhuji. So you said like Guru can treat the disciple, like being very close, but the disciple should always be aware that, his boundary, he should still maintain his boundary, even though he knows that Guru is treating him.
Yeah, but that boundary also, there can be like a unsaid definition of boundary can change. So he may, if the disciple knows that, say, I have to knock at the door of the Guru even in the middle of the night, he can feel free to do that if it is something important or something even what he feels. Somebody else may not even feel like, oh, I should disturb him whatsoever. Unless the house is on fire, I'm never going to knock. Whereas the other one may feel free to do that. Or, if he was, one time it happened that, one spiritual master said, I have a class at 6 o'clock. Wake me up at 5:50 and, so that I can do the class. And this disciple, and he fell asleep and he kept sleeping. And he said, no, I cannot wake. And it was like 7 o'clock. So the class got delayed by 1 hour. And then the spiritual master was very angry. Why you didn't wake me? So there was this mismatch of expectation. The Guru thought he will wake me, but he felt, that it was not within his boundary or etiquette to wake him. It's better to, the Guru has been doing so much stressful activities. If he is getting some rest right now, let him take some rest. So there can be that mismatch as well. It depends on what the guru, it's a unsaid, unwritten, and it develops over time. Sort of a mutual understanding develops what the boundary is from both sides. But if in case of doubt, one should fall back to the safe side. So I think that whoever that devotee was did the right thing. Okay, he got a little bit of chastisement, but that was, I think, a better of the two options than to wake him and cause more, Okay.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, is it something to do with the consciousness? Like, as you said, as you explained, Guru Maharaj is actually more experienced. Definitely, you should always treat him higher, right? So sometimes with the physical way that we interact with him, sometimes it may look like externally, but it's all about the consciousness that you keep with it. Is it right understanding?
I'm not sure I've understood the question fully, but everything should be done with that. There should never be a mismatch between our consciousness and our action. Our actions should be guided from our consciousness. It should never be a fake or made up. There should be genuineness in our intention that translates into action.
Okay.
Did I answer your question? Or if not, please try to ask again.
Yes, Prabhu. I think that's, yeah.
Genuineness is never we should compromise, or we should never be fake or made up or anything like that.
I mean, I'm trying to understand, like, breaching, familiarity breaches content, right?
Yes.
So what I'm trying to understand is, like, if you're sometimes when you're pretty close with the guru, and then sometimes these thoughts come into our mind that, okay, no, I know Guru very well, so I can do.
That should never happen. Then there's a problem in the consciousness.
Right.
One should be, that is why while serving the Guru, one should keep one's sadhana very strong. Because in some sense, you are playing with fire. Like a fireman. Have you entered in some of these places where workers work with dangerous equipment? There is so much protection you have to do. You have to wear this gloves, and there are big signs, do not operate this machine if you have taken this sleeping drug or sleeping pill, or if you have had less sleep last night, or this or that, your hands could get cut. Or if you're doing basic, so one should treat interactions with Guru as very, very sacred, like as good as serving the deity. You take bath, you have to take so many precautions before you serve the deity, right? So one should try his level best to not let familiarity breed contempt aspect come into the service, and that comes by strong sadhana and very, very careful execution of the service.
Thank you.
Yes, Mataji.
I have one more question. So in one of the slides you mentioned not to get close to one's spouse. So whatever you mentioned earlier, it applies there as well. And the reason I'm asking is, sometimes, we may have the same, like devotee association. It can be, earlier, before coming into Krishna consciousness, like my thought was different, but after coming into Krishna consciousness, I feel like only Krishna is a Purusha, everybody is Prakriti. So
yeah,
but
that doesn't mean we go around and, inappropriately approaching other people's spouses.
Yes, but I want to know, like, exchanging about, talking about Krishna or whatever, Krishna topic, that's not considered. I just want to know what exactly not having closeness with. Closeness
means private, like in a isolated way, inappropriate. So basically, if it is alone association, whether even if it is Krishna conscious, is not recommended. Okay, never. So it has to be there has to be another person, either that person's spouse or this person's spouse, or if the guru is there and guru has no spouse, if he is a sannyasi or some third person. So gurus always maintain this etiquette or like guideline. Either they will keep the door completely open with somebody standing near the door or inside or something like that. They will never have this kind of a thing where two are alone. And does that answer the question? So it is some kind of like a inappropriate association or alone, isolated, like what's the right word? Yeah, isolated. Yeah, even within, I'm just saying as even within, like, for example, like I remember when Hariparshad Prabhu was here and one of the Mataji wanted to talk, he made sure that I was there, little bit at a distance, but I couldn't listen what was being discussed, but I was very much present. So like that. Yeah.
Not like discussing about Krishna.
No, not discussing. Yeah, definitely discussing anything else which is materialistic or in any way definitely inappropriate should completely be not even, that's out of the question. But even discussing Krishna topics should be done along with somebody else present.
So closeness is not like inappropriate. Okay, I got it.
Yeah. Like I'm sitting here and so many other Matajis and all, I mean, open setting and all, definitely all that is recommended. And that is, that used to occur even when Srila Prabhupada had so many female disciples, but he never had a, like a isolated association with any Mataji, any of his disciples at any time.
इसमें महात्मा गांधी's word was कि ईमानदारी से मन में नहीं रहनी चाहिए, दिखनी भी चाहिए. So that is the closeness.
Correct, exactly. Very important point. Very nice point. That one must be and be perceived. There is a very important sentence, be and be perceived. Because other people may look at it in a wrong way. You may have absolutely know this one and you can think that, okay, I will, talk some Krishna Katha with this Mataji in a room with closed door. And my mind is completely, clear. But first of all, the other person may not have that mind and you are then not nourishing their bhakti. Or a third person who knows that this is going on, you are not nourishing their bhakti. They may think, oh, what are these, why they are having this topic in talk in a closed room. So you're not nourishing their Krishna bhakti. And what if you're discussing really Krishna Katha, you can keep an open door. And that is recommended. So yes, it should be, it's not sufficient to just nourish your own Krishna bhakti. You have a should take on the responsibility of nourishing everyone's Krishna bhakti. Okay. Anybody, you were raising the hand?
He covered it actually. But what I was going to say, the principle covers everybody involved. Right?
Yes.
Not just your frame of mind or reference.
Yes.
Also, it sort of prevents any. I mean, it is a vigilant thing as well, right? The principle itself has inbuilt mechanisms for vigilance. So
and yes, and one may think, I will not be affected. There are so many examples in the Shastra. There is this one instance, I forget, in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Leela, where he says that one should not even look at a wooden doll with a, some inappropriate intent, like a wooden female doll, whatever. It's not a person, real person, but, and these days I have seen, I go around in Costco or whatever, all these kind of Barbie dolls and all are portrayed with so much, I mean, probably they're as worse as, some movie posters. What's the difference? It can sway one's mind as much as a inappropriate ad in a magazine. You can say, oh, it's a child's toy. It's not, I feel. So when a wooden doll can affect one's consciousness, what to speak of a real person. So one should not take anything for granted. We have big example of Vishwamitra. He could fall down. So, of course, there is Haridas Thakur on the other side. But, we should apply Vishwamitra on us, not Haridas Thakur. Okay. Okay. So it is 7:33 and I have 2 more slides. What should I do? Should I stop and do it on next time or just finish it off or what? What do you recommend? Let's do it next time. I don't want to rush. These are important topics. Somehow or the other, we don't end up finishing. But there was good question answer session. So I like that part. But Guhyam Akhyati Prichhati. That is one topic. So we are done with dadati pratigrhnati, giving and receiving. Next topic will be Guhyam Akhyati Prichhati. Confidentially sharing one's mind. And you can see with close devotees, you do share your mind, your problems. With close people only you share. I'm going through this problem, this, that. And so we will discuss that. And so sharing, and also it is important for the other person to share. It's like it builds like both giving and taking. One cannot just be, one should also share to, if not for anything, to have that bond of relationship, strength. And then bhunkte bhojayate. That one is more simple. We do that all the time. That is directly eating and feeding, or offering and honoring prasadam. It has to be only prasadam. So that is fundamental, nourishing Krishna bhakti. That is the fundamental sort of line of thought. So for food, the only thing that can nourish our Krishna bhakti is prasad. So we will talk a little bit about that. And then we might start with the 5th verse also next time. Okay, Krishneti yasya giritam manasadriyeta. So then we will go deeper into, first time Krishna word will appear in the verse. If you see in the first 4 verses, Krishna has not appeared, Bhakti has appeared, but Krishna has not appeared. So the 5th word starts with Krishna. And that's why the meter also changes. So change of meter is usually accompanied with change of theme. So we go from Anushtup to Vasanta Tilakam. So we will discuss that, how one should interact with devotees. Those who are Manasadriyeta, who have Krishneti Yasya Giritam, who have the name of Krishna on their tongue. And those who have taken Diksha, Dikshasti Chet, Pranatibhish Bhajantam Isham, who are doing Bhajantam Isham, who are doing some bhajan of Ishwar and have taken Diksha, how to interact. So all these things we will discuss in the next class. Next Saturday we have class? Yeah. So next Saturday we will discuss. Okay, so we will stop here. Anything else before we conclude?
Prabhuji, I have a doubt.
Yeah, Mataji. Go ahead.
Generally in the scriptures, they say, when we are offering or giving something, even our left hand should not know about it.
Yes.
In that case, giving and taking, it creates doubt in me, in my mind.
Correct. That is the same concept we covered as one should not think about, one should give and forget. Somewhere we covered, right? We should not worry what they did with the gift. So that is the point. That when you give, you should just give with love, with respect. You should give, and then it is gone. Nobody else should know. You should not advertise that you have given. Not only to the other person, remember I gave you this. Not even to other people. Some people go on advertising, oh, I gave this person a job. Or something, I I was the one who got this person's girl married to this boy. Now see, they have such a nice marriage. I was the one. So like that, we should not go around advertising our giving. Okay, Mataji?
नेकी कर कुएं में डाल.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Yes. Neki kar kuएं में डाल. Okay. Anything else? All right. If not, then we will see you all next Saturday. Thank you so much for joining. I will be releasing the homework today for the next 3 verses. I think I will see. It will be, yeah, Krishna Yasya, and then, yeah, maybe 3 verses together. You can get a head start on it, and you can, that way you will have more time. Okay, thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare
Thank you.
Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.